Sales funnels. You've probably heard the term. It seems like everywhere we look, in terms of marketing at least, or online business now, we're hearing about this term sales funnels. You might have heard some people claiming that you're one funnel away from changing your life. You might have even had people tell you that everything in this world is a sales funnel, whether you're in the grocery store, you're at the movie theater, spending $9 for popcorn. It's because, you're spending that $9 for popcorn because you're at that point in the funnel, and you might have started to hear this term or embrace this term, or maybe you have no clue what I'm talking about, and you're just going to have to take my word for a second that sales funnels are a really big deal. But wherever you're at with sales funnels, today we're going to be talking to one of the absolute best in the world when it comes to these things called sales funnels. I'm really, really excited about Jay. So without further ado, let me bring him on here in a moment to talk about not only sales funnels, but in particular, making money with sales funnels and how understanding these things can move our lives forward. Okay, so as promised, we are here in the virtual studio today, which doesn't mean anything other than the fact that we're both on an internet connection at our homes. But with somebody that is a recent connection of mine personally, but who I've known of and lightly stalked online for a while now. His name is Blake Nubar, and he's, like I said, one of the best in the world when it comes to sales funnels. If you Google, I don't know if you'd ever actually Google this, but basically if you Google really smart people who are really good at sales funnels, his name should at least come up very near the top. All that to say, Blake, welcome to the studio. Thanks for being here.
Jeff, thanks for having me, brother. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, man, I'm so excited. Obviously, we kind of made a random connection through a mutual friend in Nashville 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
At Funnel Hacking Live, where you're a much bigger celebrity than me. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't you? I mean, Funnel Hacking Live is obviously put on by ClickFunnels, and aren't you the #1 selling funnel architect in the ClickFunnels funnel marketplace?
Yeah. Which, that was a humbling experience all in itself, which crazy story behind that. But yes, I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of my work featured on there and then in the hands of a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs. So it's been a blessing.
So yeah, that's super cool. And like I find is always the case in our industry, and even that term industry, we could probably debate what exactly this industry is. It's more of like a set, it's almost like a religion or a philosophy or an industry or a niche or a vertical or profession, whatever it is. What I find sort of suffuses a lot of the really, really successful people in our industry is that we do tend to center around how we can harness our skill set in a way that empowers other people. Mm-hmm. And you've obviously done that with your funnels, which I want to really dig into. I want to play the metaphor and literally go deep into the funnel with you. But before we do that, I want to sort of acknowledge various people in my audience who may or may not be as acclimated with sales. Well, I don't think anybody's as acclimated with sales funnels as you are, but who just, maybe this term is a little bit foreign or vague to them.
Sure.
So maybe as a starting point, I mean, I feel like we're getting to have, we're getting to ask Isaac Newton to tell us what calculus is.
Yeah.
So in the words of the inimitable Blake Nubar, tell us, what is sales funnel?
Yeah. So I guess the best way to describe it would be how I kind of stumbled upon them. I was working in a 9-to-5 doing something I just wasn't, fond of. And I was working for a fitness company, and our job, we were actually creating personal training certifications. We were teaching people how to become personal trainers. And we're sitting there and we're building this course, and it's amazing. It's like one of the most robust experiences I've ever seen on the market to teach people how to become certified, in personal training. And when we're done with this thing, we handed it over to the marketing department to go put it on a website, right? They built the website and they launched it, and nothing happened, right? There was like they couldn't sell it. And, being frustrated, right? I remember, and by the way, I had no idea what a sales funnel is. I was in operations at the time. And, I'm sitting there, I go home one night just out of pure frustration, and I'm scrolling online on Facebook, and this guy named Russell Brunson comes across my feed with this crazy ad about sales funnels, which I had no idea what it was, but I was at the point in my career where I was at, I was looking for a solution to what we just created. So I click on this thing, I watch this, I thought I was on a website, but I was actually on a funnel, and I'll explain that in a second. And, next thing I know, I'm just sucked into this guy's universe on how to sell things online. The power behind one of these things can really change the course and the trajectory of where you're going or what you're capable of even doing using the internet. And, I run back into the office and I'm like, hey guys, forget that website stuff. We're going to use what's called a sales funnel. And they're like, what's a sales funnel? And I was like, well, to my understanding, instead of this website where you have thousands and thousands of buttons and about us and contact us and all these tabs that confuse people, what we're going to do now is kind of break off those as different pages and have one goal on each page until we're ready to whatever goal we're trying to get. Maybe it's an email address. Maybe we're trying to sell you a product. We're basically just simplifying the process that we bring someone through to get to an end result. And they're like, all right, cool. So I start building out this first sales funnel, which at the time it was a webinar funnel. And I start building this thing out, and, long story short, we go to launch this thing and we started making money. Our first sale happened that day using one of these sales funnels. And the easiest way to really explain it to anyone that doesn't know what a sales funnel is basically think of a website, but the entire goal of it is just to generate one specific goal in mind. So instead of having, like I said, all of these different tabs, all of these different things you can click, like confusing items on it, you're basically just bringing people to a series of pages, one by one by one, and each page has a specific goal. And that's kind of the funnel you're bringing people through. And that's just the online version. It continues offline. It continues, you want to get on the phone call with someone. There's so many different components, but ultimately look at it as a way of a process you bring customers through to get your products and services in their hands in a fashion that's designed to convert.
Yeah. I love the way you explained that. The key being one thing at a time.
Yeah.
One goal per page.
That's it.
And no options or as few options for people as possible.
Yeah. Cause that's what you're trying to do, right? When you send someone to a website, right? It's we all know what a website is, right? You ask anyone, they're like, yeah, I've heard of a website, right? It's basically an online brochure. It gives information about what you do, a bunch of different things. When you say sales funnel, right, not as many people understand what it is, but it's really, it can be as simple as you want it to be. It's just, like I said, it's one goal in mind. What are you trying to do? If you want to get their email address, literally everything on that first page is designed to get an email address.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is they've been marketed to and essentially living inside of sales funnels their whole life, even an 80-year-old person who's like, no, I was here long before all this crazy sales phone. No, you weren't actually. Yeah. You've been getting hit up with direct mail. You've been getting hit up with phone calls. You've been walking into department stores. You've been going to the grocery store. Have you ever noticed that when you walk into the grocery store, you almost always turn right? And you almost always start in produce?
Yes.
They've already thought this stuff out.
Absolutely.
It's a funnel, right?
They guide you.
Yeah, you're always getting guided. And the internet, in a way, was, I guess like everything, there's sort of a Wild West period where things turn into a free-for-all. But naturally, things tend to consolidate around whatever's the most economically optimal or the most business efficient. And you're right. You mentioned Russell Brunson, who's kind of become known as the evangelist. Mm-hmm. He didn't invent the sales funnel.
Nope.
By any stretch. He didn't invent the online sales funnel.
No.
But he's become sort of the preeminent evangelist of it. But it's how business gets done. And so, I notice on your website, and again, I really want to speak. It's funny, I run a YouTube channel, mm-hmm. and I run a YouTube channel. I run a company that trains on modern entrepreneurship called Entre Institute. But as you know, with marketing, you're always speaking to one person. Right. You pick one person, you say, I'm going to speak to this person. And in different formats, you in different parts of your business, you may speak to different people. Mm-hmm. When you're on stage, when I'm on stage at my event and I'm talking about our mastermind program, I'm talking to a specific type of person in the audience who frankly has the depth of interest and the resources and the mindset to commit to year-long intensive programs that are fairly expensive, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm doing these conversations, this is how I think of it, and this will kind of inflect, hopefully, the rest of our conversation. I'm talking to me 20 years ago.
Sure.
And maybe you don't seem like you're as old as me. Maybe you 10 years ago, right? I don't know. How old am I allowed to ask?
I'm 32.
Okay, so I'm 40, almost 41. So yeah, I nailed it. Like maybe you 10 years ago, right? Like
Sure.
The person who is like, what am I going to do with my life? I have all these choices. I want to pick something that gives me the best quality of life. And I notice your tagline on your website is build funnels, make money, live free.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, so that actually started a while ago, right? Like I got into this game. I just found something I loved, right? Because I think a lot of people have a very difficult time of like, where do you start, right? It's like one of the biggest questions, I think a lot of people find themselves asking, like, I want to do something different, but I don't know where to start. I don't know how to do something. And I just kind of gravitated towards funnels after that moment because I realized that experience when I made the first sale online using an actual sales funnel kind of changed how I viewed what was possible out there. And I set off on this mission for the next year of my life to figure it out. And I realized I fell very well into the category of building at the time. I don't build anymore. I fall more into the strategy, and it's just, building things like that. Right. I've jumped onto a different lily pad, but starting, I just enjoyed it. Like building funnels to me was fun, right? I was just like, we can design them, we can build them, we can offer them to clients and stuff. And I just found this passion for it in this way where it's just something I gravitated towards. So the whole tagline, launch funnels, make money, live free. It's what I believe. It's what we believe here, because when you truly understand the power behind what one of these things can do for you, right? You really realize that opens up your eyes and it opens up your perspective to what's possible out there is virtually limitless on what you can do. I mean, literally you could launch something in a weekend and it can change your life. Like on Friday, you have an idea. On Monday, you launch it. On Tuesday, your life's changing.
Right.
And that kind of became the mantra of, at least, what I believe and what we do, which is launch funnels, make money, live free, because ultimately I think we're all on a mission to get some type of freedom, whatever it might be that we're looking for. We're all trying to achieve some type of freedom in our own specific, unique way.
It's so interesting that you coined that phrase. We were just at Funnel Hacking Live, for example, and there were all these people winning all these awards, right? Some of them were for making $1 million. Some of them were for making $10 million. They even had a guy there who made $100 million. Yeah. There were some 25s and some 50s. And what's funny is every single one of those people is consistent with exactly what you're saying here.
Yeah.
They built the funnel, they made money, and now they're free.
Yeah.
My company, Entre, my branding's a little gray between Jeff Lerner branding and Entre branding, but at its core, I talk about this concept of the awesome life all the time. An awesome life. I call us the Awesome Life Company. Talk about the 3 P's of an awesome life: physical excellence, personal excellence, professional excellence. But an awesome life has to be paid for. And you're a lot more likely to have physical excellence in your life if you can afford good food and you can maybe even afford a trainer. You're a lot more likely to have personal excellence in your life if your time is free enough that you can spend some of it with your family. Or if you have a problem, maybe you can even afford therapy.
Sure. And
professional excellence, to me, professional excellence isn't even just about, are you making money with your business or job? It's, are you creating the life you want with your business or job? That is itself the measure of professional excellence. So you can't be professionally excellent if it's not also resulting in the other two. So this whole framework for me, I've landed on, I didn't pick internet marketing because I love the internet or I have some deep passion for it. I have a passion for life. I just happen to think that what you and I do tends to create the best lives.
Right.
And it's crazy. I mean, what you're saying is so true, but you're summing up an entire new generation of multimillionaire people who, even that term multimillionaire has been changed by the dynamic of what you're describing. Because, you think 40 years ago, even 30 years ago, that term multimillionaire, what came to mind for someone, maybe when you were being born? I would guess it was a guy wearing a suit on Wall Street who's in a hurry, who might spill his coffee because he's trying to read the paper and juggle five, that guy, he's got to get into the office to check his messages because he doesn't have a cell phone. Like,
sure.
Now when we talk multimillionaires and people are browsing Instagram trying to figure out what the heck do these people do for a living?
Right.
Because isn't that what half of Instagram is like looking at these people that have these extravagant lives and going, well, what do they do for a living? Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It almost always ties back to sales funnels.
Yeah, it is. I mean, so when Russell, he's credited for the fact that he brought this mainstream, right? Like he had an opportunity with what he did with software to bring such a concept mainstream for people to take advantage of. Okay. It always starts with an opportunity. Okay. And being able to introduce people to sales funnels, I think there's over 100,000 people that use the software now. Right. And like so many more people understand what it is. Like when you really take time, like regardless of where you're at in your life or what you're trying to accomplish right now, having a sales funnel in place, right? They're all around us each and every day. You just have to look for ways on how you can capitalize on using one for yourself to achieve some goal that you have. Because like you said, Jeff, perfect example, like the grocery store. You're in a sales funnel, whether you realize it or not. You probably started that sales funnel when you went to your mailbox to get the coupon for buy one, get one free on, Thomas Bagels, right? And you got, that's the start of the funnel. Gets you in the car, you go in the car. Obviously the store is designed specifically to get you walking down certain aisles and walking a specific direction because they know that makes them more money when they lead you down a path. Mm-hmm. And being able to implement something like that for your business, to start a business, it literally can change anything you ever want to try. Like, honestly, it's one of those things where it's like as cliched as it is overnight, but I've seen people's lives change overnight from having one of these things up and running. So yeah, like each and every day, like it's something that we're all in. It's something that we're all a part of, whether we're aware of it or not. It's just the power behind it. I mean, I was broke as hell. Like, dude, I was broke, man. Like I had no money. I was paycheck to paycheck. I was struggling. I was unhappy. I was trying to find a way of like, how can I free myself, like, and do something different. And when I was introduced to the power behind one of these online machines, it completely changed everything for me. And it just shows you like what you're capable of when you're fortunate enough to have something or to find something or to create an idea where you can like inject it into one of these things and your entire life can change.
Yeah, it's funny because, and I was thinking about this when we were at Funnel Hacking Live last week. I mean, and I'm, all these stories have different details, but there's such a common denominator. And I suspect, 30 years from now, it may be different. You might have people majoring in sales funnels in college and then graduating with a degree in sales funnels and getting a job in sales funnels. Like,
yeah.
But at least now it's always people like you and me who like, we were doing something else and we weren't happy or we hit a speed bump or life didn't go our way. And so we like pivoted into this sometimes by accident or by incident. And then like, we reinvented our whole lives, right? Yeah. And so you're right, but we're still not at the point where this really is common knowledge. This is honestly why I wanted to bring you on to my YouTube here and to the show, because I get hit up like, I mean, and the number's increasing gratefully. My presence is expanding online. I mean, it's up to like probably a couple dozen times a day of people that are like, it's like what we do all still seems fuzzy. Like it's like they're looking through opaque glass. They can see the shape, but they can't make out the details. They're like, how do we do this? But they know it's real. They can see it clearly enough to know that it's not like a hologram.
Yeah.
It's what?
Go ahead.
But it's not at the point where like and this is what I was thinking at Nashville. There were 4,500 people in the room. But there are 6.995 billion people or whatever outside the room, and only a tiny sliver of them actually get what's going on in that room.
Yeah.
And Russell's community isn't the only one. I mean, you've got Lead Pages, and you've got Kajabi, and there's a new upstart named Drop Funnels, and there's you've got all these platforms out there that they're fundamentally just ways of accessing this deeper truth that we're talking about, right? They're just a tool. They're the drill, but we're talking about the whole.
Right?
And yet still to most of the world, a lot of this almost seems like gibberish.
Sure.
And that's what's so fascinating to me is that, man, I don't know how to explain. It's like, if you understand sales funnels, not to hearken to a politically incorrect example, but you're like the Europeans coming to the New World with guns, and everybody's attacking you with bows and arrows.
Sure. Yeah, it's a weapon.
It's not a fair fight.
No. I think what happens is that anytime you're a pioneer in anything, right? Sales funnels is relatively new, right? It's a new thing, right? It's going to be new for years. Like even in 5 years from now, it's still new. Okay. Yeah. Anytime something originally starts, anytime something's revolutionary, something that can really have a drastic impact on what you want to do with your business or to start a business, it requires a tremendous amount of backing and education to get it moving forward. And with sales funnels, right, things like that, it's not something where it's like you can just go to the store and buy, a box of Oreos, right? And you just sell them like this. Everyone understands it. They taste good. I'm going to eat them. I love them. I'm going to go buy more, right? It's something where it's like, this stuff will not work until you're educated on the science, the frameworks, and the art of how to make it work. So it's a slower process, right? It's not something where you flip on overnight and everyone in the world can understand what a sales funnel is, because what it does is it takes you to literally sit behind your computer or read some books and understand, how do I get these to work for me? And anytime something takes education, it's just a longer frontier, right? It's not like this instant quick thing. It's like, you're already going to weed out people that don't want to learn just because there's a learning component to it. Right. So I don't see sales funnels as being this thing that's just going to I never see it just taking off. Right. You're going to have inflection points in it where it's like people understand, yeah, I've kind of heard of it, but I never see it being this thing where it's like, you're going to reach this critical mass and the pot tips right away. It's just going to take a long effort of understanding what they are until something like artificial intelligence or something comes into the game to make it much easier for people to get involved. Because the barrier right now to sales funnels, to these online machines that help you in your business or to start a new business, the barrier is the learning curve. It takes time to learn and understand what it is. And until that experience is going to become easier, that is when it can become more mainstream. People understand what they are. There's no barrier to entry. Anyone can come in and make them work. But until then, the barriers are a little higher. Right. With actually getting one to work.
And it's interesting too, because sales funnels by itself is really an abstract concept.
Sure.
And frankly, I'm grateful for everything you're saying. I'm grateful for the way human beings are, that they're not all like, I need to go learn this and I'm going to become self-educated and I don't need any help, and they just go learn it, because then Entre wouldn't have a business, right? I mean, my company exists because there's a desire on the consumer's part to be pulled into modern understanding, so to speak, of these things. And frankly, they're willing to pay for that, just like they pay to go to school.
Of course.
But what we do, and I think this is kind of key, and maybe it's something we could talk about if we think it's productive, is we try to take it out of the abstract and put it into the application context, where it's like teaching sales funnels it's hard for people to sometimes maybe grasp that, but teaching how to sell stuff in an online store, or teaching how to, if you love dogs, how to sell pet products in an online store, that gives people context. They compare it to their brick and mortar store that they thought about opening once upon a time. We're like, no, you don't need that. You need this thing called a funnel. And it's like, now you've given them a narrative to the whole concept, right?
Absolutely.
And so we teach the different business models, but it's funny because whether we're talking affiliate marketing, these are the core things we teach. We teach affiliate marketing, we teach e-com, we teach starting a digital agency, which we teach product creation, we teach, info marketing and curation marketing. And at the end of the day, what I always end up telling people is it really didn't matter which one you picked. Like 95% of the skills are going to be the same.
Sure.
And they're actually all going to come down to various facets of a sales funnel.
Yeah.
Whether it's the design, whether it's the copywriting, whether it's the engineering, whether it's the mechanics, whether it's the tech, it's all just sales funnels. Yeah. So this, for anybody who's seen a lot of my videos and is kind of on this one, it's another one of Jeff's videos. Understand, this is the video, this is the concept that actually underlies the concept of like hundreds of my other videos. And so anyway, I'm curious, as somebody who is, for lack of a better term, and forgive this is probably totally like oversimplification, you're a purveyor of funnel.
Sure.
The ideas therefrom and the mechanics therefrom.
Mm-hmm.
How do you find a challenge bridging the concept of funnel as in the abstract into the practical application, or are you so often working with people who already have an application context that it's easy because what they're really missing is just the funnel piece?
Yeah. So I actually both, I would say, right. When I started digital agency back in 2017, which I don't run anymore because, well, story for another day, but I was just, it was becoming I lost my freedom that I wanted from it. Right. That's just my personal preference. But with that, I was dealing with a lot of business owners that already had very thriving businesses, and they were looking for ways to expand using the internet, right? So like you said, when you bring the context to them, like they understand like, hey, I have this business, it's working well, but I'm trying to get distribution, I'm trying to expand it. When you bring a sales funnel in, they're usually just missing that, right? They've proven the message, they've proven the offer, they're just missing the vehicle to sell it in, okay? And some things might need tweaking based on the internet and the target audience ultimately, but overall, they're looking to expand because they already have a business, right? They're already like, they have a grasp on what they're trying to do. And then now it's like, how can we expand them using sales funnels, which will blow a business up because you're using the internet, you have distribution. It's a killer recipe. Recently, I've shifted from this, like, let me help business owners to let me help aspiring entrepreneurs that just can't get it working, because there's so many things that go into a successful funnel, but it's possible, right? It's like, I tell everyone this, I'm like, look, it's like, it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it, right? Because your life's going to change the second you understand how all these components work together. So I've recently shifted from this, like, let me help business owners implement sales funnels and expand their businesses, to let me help people that have been working with them for whether you've been working with them for a week or whether you've been working with them for 10 years. And my goal now is to shift from like, let me help them, teach them the strategies, the techniques, the infrastructure, the selling environment, the frameworks of what they need to do to get their message, to get what they love to do every day out to the world using one of these things. So I'm fortunate enough right now to where I'm dealing with a lot of my target market, a lot of people I'm coming into contact with on a daily basis. They understand what a sales funnel is because Russell's done the liberty of teaching people, of being on the forefront as the pioneer, educating people on what these things are. So when they come through, now they're looking for more help on how do they actually get one up and running. But yeah, moving forward, like going, fishing upstream, right? Yeah, I think it will be more of a challenge to help people understand what it is. But you know what? When you show people results and you show what they can do, I think you can bring it into context of what it is and how it works, and get people's buy-in a lot easier on one of them.
Yeah, I do think you're right. Big fat bank accounts are the universal context that everybody immediately understands.
Yeah, yeah.
So let me ask this: again, speaking to myself 20 years ago.
Sure.
And I don't know how much of my story, but 20 years ago, I was just getting started in my career as a jazz musician, playing piano for a living, which meant I had several years ahead of me of struggle and sometimes wondering how I was going to pay the rent, and ultimately a whole crumbling environment that required the type of change that we've been talking about tends to happen for people that get into the stuff we do. To that guy now, in the world we live in now.
Yeah.
How can I start to wrap my head around this concept of funnels, and what would your sort of recommendation be? Not necessarily one, but maybe one of several options for like a way that they could start to sort of put this concept into practice in their life to maybe get a leg up. Maybe they're working full-time in a job and they don't like it, but they also can't afford to quit it right away.
Sure.
Like, what's a baby step that involves a funnel?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Great question. So I think a lot of people, like, everyone knows where they're at, right? Some people might be in a 9-to-5 and that's fine. And they're like, they want to experiment with funnels. Some people, like, no matter what, there's always time, right? Even if you have to moonlight it. So my first best piece of advice is don't go create your own product, right? You don't need to do that right away. You need to understand, you need to start learning how to sell. Okay. The number one reason why most people are failing online or even offline in what they do, if you don't know how to sell, it's just a struggle, right? So I would go tell people, hey, listen, like go like learn a little bit, go get familiarized with selling things online. And I wouldn't necessarily use your own product, right? There's just, you don't have to spend an ungodly amount of time building your own product. Go sell someone else's product. Like I think affiliate marketing is one of the best places to start. It's where I started. It's one of the best places because you're already taking a product that's typically proven, right? Like go, like find a product you enjoy, and there you can go to clickbank.com, you can go to JVZoo. There's so many marketplaces out there where people are literally trying to get other people to sell their products for them. And it's an amazing opportunity because I view it as marketing with training wheels while you're starting. And then as you start understanding it, affiliate marketing can be a massive revenue stream for your business, right? Not as your core per se, but like as a secondary income for your business. So if I was starting out, my option would be I would hop online. I would go find some products that I believed in wherever they were. And I would start researching how I could sell these things. And I would start looking into affiliate marketing and strategies. And I'd probably get a course on, okay, how's affiliate marketing work? How can I sell this stuff? And I would literally go out there and try and sell someone else's product. And if I can sell someone else's product, it's the best example. It's the best test to show that you understand what it takes to sell online, because those mechanics, the science of selling stuff using affiliate marketing is going to carry over. Jeff, like you were saying, it's going to carry over to the other facets of any business online, because if you can sell someone else's product, you're in good shape to go sell your own, assuming you nailed like the product market fit and things like that. So affiliate marketing would be my number one way to tell someone who wants to experience with sales funnels. Learn affiliate marketing, do something in that realm. Don't build your own course. You don't even need your own sales message. A company is going to give you the way to sell it and all that stuff. You just have to go in there and learn a little bit of the science on how to sell stuff online.
So I'll tell you, I never prep that question, but whenever I do these interviews, I always ask people where they would recommend that a newer person start. And just in the last month, I've had an interview with an agency owner, 7-figure agency owner. I've had an interview now with a funnel scientist. I've had an interview with a guy that runs a big e-com store. I've had an interview with a coach. Everybody says affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
Which is funny because that's where you started. That's where I started. That's where a lot of people started. That's where Entre starts people. And it's, so I can say now from gathered experience, there seems to be a consensus out there that affiliate marketing is the place to start. But you say, okay, so I've got these products and I've got these basically these links that I need to get people to the link, and the people need to be ready to buy. Well, how do you do that? Funnels, right?
Yes.
So they go hand in hand.
Yeah, exactly. So I won't get into the nuances of like a strategy behind affiliate marketing, but yeah, once you have like the product, like now is the time, once you have the product and the message, right? Because you're going to get a link. You need to create what's called a bridge page, which is a funnel. Okay. Right. And you create a funnel to bridge to get people onto your page and then ultimately get them to the product that you're selling. So what's cool about affiliate marketing too, right? For anyone that doesn't know, is like, you don't have to hold any of the inventory. You don't have to, you have to do nothing. You get a link, you build your funnel page, you get people to visit that page, get interested in that product. And if they go buy, you get paid money for it. Okay. There's like no better way to get started online than that, because you can be collecting paycheck after paycheck passively just from one single page. Literally, you don't even handle the order form. You don't handle transactions. You do none of that stuff. The company handles all that. All you have to do is get people to go buy the product. And you use that doing a sales funnel.
And, a lot of people think of a funnel, as soon as you say it, they're thinking about the garage with the motor oil funnel, or maybe the kitchen with the flour, whatever you pour in a funnel in the kitchen. But, so funnels go like this, right? And they narrow and they come to a point. And I think people think, I need to build this thing that goes to a point where somebody buys something. But I think what a lot of people probably don't instinctively realize about internet funnels is they start by narrowing to a point of a transaction, but there's actually this funnel that reverses and comes out the other direction, what I call the long tail of the funnel.
Sure.
Where once you've got somebody on your list, essentially they're living in a long form funnel that could run for years. And that's where affiliate marketing is so valuable, because you're selling new product after new product. You don't have to create new product after new product. You're able to just take other people's products, of which they're an endless supply.
Yes.
And your funnel is now something that feeds your list, but then your list itself becomes another funnel. And I mean, I still have people I started this in 2008, and I still have people on my list from 2008.
Yeah.
They still buy stuff from me.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're still in my funnel.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've been in ClickFunnels funnel now for about 4 years. And I'm still not even towards the top. Right. So
Oh yeah,
yeah, like,
they still got a lot of stuff to sell you, I'm sure.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. They can't wait.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jeff, to your point, like that's one of the coolest parts too, because once you get someone in your funnel, you eventually can sell them more products down the line. So for example, if you're doing affiliate marketing and you're like, hey, Blake, I have this cool new supplement that's going to help you with joint pain. And I go and buy it, right? Well, now I'm on your email list. Now in 2 weeks, you might sell me a product like, hey, I hope you enjoyed that supplement. Really awesome. Why don't you try this thing, which is going to help with this? And you can start just cultivating and nurturing a group of individuals, and they become lifelong fans of you as long as you keep bringing value to them and keep bringing products that they can utilize for themselves or for their business or whatever it might be. They're going to be fans. And ultimately, like, you can make a massive killing online by just doing something like that.
Yeah, it's and the cool thing about going to an event like we went to a couple weeks ago, and this is why I love events, is, you know, I don't know where I think you live in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I live in Utah. You know, my neighbors are not funnel architects. My neighbors are sales guys, and one guy works at a bank, and like, so it'd be easy for me to look at the world around me and go, I'm the only person that does this. Is this even real, or am I just crazy? Like, you start to feel so alien and so abstract in the world. But then you realize there are literally thousands of people doing exactly what you just described. I think of my buddy John, who lives in Hawaii, and he's lived in Hawaii for 20 years, and he just lives and surfs. He lives and surfs. And people are like, how do you pay for your life? And he's like, dude, I got 700,000 people across 18 different email lists that just buy stuff from me all the time. It's real. It's real. And so to my audience, I want you guys, the reason I decided to shift my channel and start doing interviews is because I feel like there's only so much belief people can have hearing from just Jeff Lerner that this is real.
Yeah.
There's thousands of us.
Yeah. Yeah. It can't be more real, right? Because like the first thing you hear when someone's making so much money is like, it's just like a disbelief. It's like, okay, what are you doing? That can't be legal. It's like, no, it is. Like, that's the power, right? There's so many people on this planet. Like, here's the thing. I would never start any other type of business again in my life than an online business using sales funnels.
Amen to that, my brother.
It's honestly, it's crazy to even think of, like, dude, when I was growing up, man, I've been in entrepreneurship, like, since I was a little kid selling lemonade when I was 10 years old, right? Like, I would never go back to any other type of business than an online business that involves sales funnels, because the second you get the taste of it, there's just, your brain won't let you turn back to do anything else because of how lucrative it is, and literally how many lives you can impact and change from getting your message out to the world. And I think it's hard to believe at first, right? When you're not doing it, you're like, I don't know. Like, is that really all it is? And I was like that. I was skeptical as hell. I was like, there's no way this stuff's going to work, right?
And because the learning curve is pretty high. So there's a period of delayed gratification.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to basically go through the trials and pains of making it work. And if you can stomach it for a little bit, and look, you know how many times I wanted to give up? I was going to be like, this internet crap sucks. There's no way, like, this is not what it is. And then if you just kind of like stomach through it a little bit and you get like your first sale, like the neurological connections in your brain change, and you're just addicted. And you're like, okay, that was one. Like, now there's no excuse. Now we proved it works, right? So there's no excuse. Now it's like, how do we get more of that same thing, right? And, if you keep in it long enough, you learn more and more and more every single day, and you become a student of craft. Now you can, literally, like, it's not like, I used to think like making $1 million in like a month would be crazy, right? Like, now I'm like, yeah, like it'd be like $1 million in a month. It's like, yeah, let's do it.
That's a good funnel. That's a good funnel with that's an optimized funnel with a high volume traffic source. Basically, if you have a good offer and you have Facebook, $1 million a month.
You're good. Yeah. And it's not crazy to think, but like, if you'd asked me that like 3 years ago, I'd be like, Jeff, you've lost your mind. There's just no way on this planet that can even apply. And then you just, like I said, once you get your first taste of it, you realize like the possibilities are endless, right? They're literally endless. And like, I can't urge anyone enough to at least go out there and try it with this stuff, because like I said, ClickFunnels, 100,000 users, lead pages, there's Instapage, there's Kartra, there's so many platforms out there. There's a reason they have, tens of thousands of users, and there's a lot of people succeeding with them. How many people at Funnel Hacking Live collected the 8-figure award? Was like 10 people that did over $10 million.
The 7-figure was I ended up in the 7-figure line by accident. Not to self-promote, but I should have been in the 8-figure line. But like, and I ended up getting up on stage, and they're like, "Well, just wait here."
Yeah.
I was on stage for an hour, dude, waiting for the 7-figure people to go by.
That's how
over 100 probably.
I know. I was fortunate enough to collect the 8-figure award, and it's like the 7-figure. How many millionaires that walked across? It was like an hour and a half of millionaires, millionaires from one funnel.
Who were probably 2 years removed from some job that paid them crap that they hated.
Yes. Like that. It took that long. I was almost like, all right, are the millionaires done yet? That's so many, And it's like it's because of the power behind this. And then after 8-figure, there was people doing 125 million, 50 million, 100 million. None of this existed with the sales funnels, even with ClickFunnels 4 or 5 years ago. Like it was just didn't exist, right? And it just shows you like what's possible. I mean, like literally, like if I had the limiting belief, right? I had the narrow-minded on it. I was like, there's no way. And then it was the second, like you become a believer when you see it actual in action. And that's the moment it will change your entire life.
And that's why I do what I do, honestly, with Entre. And that's why you do what you do. I mean, you're helping entrepreneurs, go from struggling to thriving with funnels. I'm helping a lot of people. Some of them are already entrepreneurs. Some of them aren't even entrepreneurs yet. But still going from struggling to thriving with funnels and internet. I mean, it's all the same stuff. And it's just, like you say, I do believe we have a solid 10 to 20 year opportunity ahead of us where we have to be the front line of evangelists for this, I mean, not to like be religious, but it's almost like being one of the early Christians where you're like in, 12 AD or 45 AD. And you're like, no, trust me, there's this thing and there's this movement and you're not going to abuse your kid anymore because you're going to know it's wrong and like life's going to change. And like, that's kind of how it feels. It almost has like a spiritual quality to it because of the impact it has on people's lives.
It is. And it's like, look, it's like anything else when you're early to the party, right? Like when you're right on time there and you show up early, you have a massive opportunity that most people will never have. Like business is not being a genius. It's not being like this know-it-all genius billionaire. Although as entrepreneurs, we want everyone to think that. We want everyone to think that everything we touch turns to gold, although that couldn't be further from the truth. We all showed up to the party at the perfect time. And because of that, we're able to capitalize on it.
And we said yes.
We said, we're like, this seems like something real. I'm going to go all in on it. And if it doesn't work out, then okay, it didn't work out. But if it does work out, you are in the perfect position to capitalize and have the fruits of your labor come to fruition moving forward into the foreseeable future. And that's what business is. Like when Russell started ClickFunnels, he didn't think it was going to be this $1 billion entity. Like no one thinks that about their business. They're just like, I don't know what it can turn into. Let's just find out. And a lot of this is timing. So like funnels being a brand new thing, right? Like, I mean, like I said, I was introduced to them. They've been around for years. They've been like kind of codified like the last 3-4 years. But like, it's still early to get in on something like this to really capitalize. It's like, there's no better timing right now than to jump in head first.
It's easier now than it was a couple of years ago, honestly.
Way easier.
We're at least partly into the innovator phase.
Yeah.
If you look at the diffusion of innovation, like we're not at the very beginning. We're like at least in kind of the sweet spot of the innovator phase where it's like early and exciting, but it's not like everybody's hating on you going, this is bullshit. Go away from me, because they've at least kind of heard of it.
Right. Yeah. Early majority is not even close yet to this. Like we're just getting going with this. And it's like, that is the opportunity, is getting in early on things. Like TikTok right now. If you're on a TikTok right now, people are exploding using that platform, right? Eventually you're not going to have the reach that you have. So like, if anyone is out there and they're like, man, should I try this funnel stuff? Should I learn more about it? I couldn't urge you. Like, I would think you're crazy not to, honestly.
So that said, and I've unfortunately got another interview with our mutual friend who introduced us at Funnel Hacking Live. So I've got to wrap this up, but let me end with this question. If somebody wants to learn about funnels, you happen to be somebody that teaches about funnels. Where should somebody go to find out more about you, or buy your course, or look at the widget, or whatever? Yeah,
the best place to learn more, we have an amazing opportunity coming up. But if you want to join me and the 5,000 of us on our mission.
And let me say, if you're not ready to say a domain and you say, hey, Jeff, let me just give you a link and you can post it below, when it's ready, that's fine too. Don't feel like I'm putting you on the spot.
No. All good. I appreciate it. Yeah, the best place to find me, honestly, and learn about what I do and what I stand for is my Facebook group. It's called Freedom Fighters. Launch your first $1 million sales funnel.
Nice. Okay, so they just go on Facebook and search Freedom Fighters and probably pop up in the group.
Type in Freedom Fighters. You'll see a nice fire emoji. Launch your first $1 million sales funnel. You can't miss it.
That sounds amazing. Okay, guys. Well, Blake, thank you for your time. So cool. I look forward to many more awesome conversations and hanging out at more events. To everybody watching, I hope this is just one more step in the direction of confidence and belief. And I like the fact that Blake said it's 99, and I don't think he said it exactly like this, but basically the majority of the effort required to be successful at this is just to show up, to say yes, to go in, and to be in the right place at the right time. Like it's 2020.
Yeah.
If this video is still out there in 2045, everything else we're saying could be true, but it just might not be the right time anymore.
Right. Exactly right.
But it's the right time today.
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
Blake, thanks for being a voice for this, and to everyone, heed the call.
Jeff, appreciate you having me, brother. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, likewise, man. We'll talk soon.
Talk soon, man.